let me transfer you.
Switch to Farm Bureau Insurance today and get real service instead of getting really tangled up. For auto, home, life, and health, get the membership advantage. Get Farm Bureau Insurance.
I mean, it's starting to be real familiar to have our backs against the walls, and I mean, we just learned over the years because we got a lot of veteran players on our defense, and a lot of older kids that we all bond together. We know never to quit, never give up, and you never know when the quarterback's going to throw a bad ball or lineman's going to tip it or running back and fumble it, just like Thorpe fumbled it. So we always knew, just hustle, fly around, and just try and make a play, do the best you can, and good things will happen. So I mean, we got lucky, and Martin made a great play, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Are you guys kind of almost manufacturing your own luck? Like, does that make sense?
I mean, we work for it, if that's what you're asking. We work in practice. We do turnover circuits, and just practice. I guess so. If it comes down to it, you work hard in practice. Everything you do in practice is what you're going to see in the game most of the time. So, just like I said, the turnover circuits. We do that every day. We go out to practice, just practice getting the ball back to the offense to close out the game, or hopefully set them up for us in scoring position. So I guess you could say we do manufacture it in a way.
I guess this question would kind of go to both of you guys. If you can describe a road trip to Maine, because you got the distance, you got the fact the school's in the middle of nowhere, and then you have a completely different climate that you're working with when you go up there too. So I guess, Eric, if you can start, and then you can just kind of describe what the trip's like. You've both been through it before.
Get on the plane, fly up there, maybe listen to your iPod, take a nap on the way up there. I'm not sure how long the flight is, a couple hours. Get there, get off the plane, go to the hotel. Once you get to the hotel, it's back to routine, and then you get out on the field. I mean, as far as the weather, I mean, it gets cold down here, rain down here, so we've all been there and played in that type of weather before, whether it be high school or in college. So weather's not going to be a factor because they're also playing in it, and I mean, we're not really thinking as far as weather being a factor is making us play worse or any better. So.
Well, as far as the weather, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I don't think Pittsburgh weather is too far different from Maine weather, but maybe a little colder this time of year. But no, I think since we're flying on a plane to go up there, this isn't too much different than going on a 4-hour bus ride to Villanova. So the travel time isn't much different. But going up to a different climate to play, it really the only thing that matters is what happens on the field.
Matt, how much different are you guys as a unit blocking for Justin as opposed to Tim and the running backs in the last 2 years and Josh? Is it any different? Do you have to adjust your schemes at all because Justin may be a little bit different type of runner, or no?
No, we really haven't adjusted any of our schemes. It's something that you realize that he is a smaller back, and I think we pride ourselves a little bit more now as an offensive line and as a unit on the offense with the yards we get on the ground. Because I think the yards we get are very representative of how the team is doing. Whereas Josh or Tim may have had some hidden yards in their size and could really power through people.
What is your reaction when you see what happens to like Villanova and James Madison when they lose games that you're probably not expected to lose?
Well, I think this team especially, it really takes an attitude that every week's a championship week. I think we started this last year after last year towards the end of the season, we were one game away from being eliminated from the playoffs, or that was just the attitude for almost half the season last year, and it's really carried into this season, and taking it one game at a time and treating every week like it's a championship.
Hey, Eric, if there's been one thing you can polish defensively, I guess it would be work against the option. VMI had some success. Madison had some success. Doesn't sound like you're going to see much of it Saturday, but I'm wondering how do you continue to work on that, and do you recognize it as something that you can get better at?
Well, if we're not really going to see much anymore, I don't know if it's really a worry, but teams always got some sort of form or option they have, because Maine's quarterback, he's agile, he can run the ball. I'm sure they might see in past games that these teams have had success, and they might put a couple option plays into their playbook just to try and catch us off guard or something. But I mean, it's always as far as options, it's always assignment football, and sometimes you get beat, sometimes you don't. I mean, it's just trying to do your best to execute your assignment. I mean, as far as polishing it up, just keep working hard in practice and doing the best you can.
Eric, put us in your helmet on that last play. I mean, it's been pretty well detailed what Martin Parker did for that play, but where were you when you saw the ball? Was there a fight to get to it? Was it just laying it? Put us in the helmet as you saw it.
I thought he was going to pass the ball first, and then he just tugged the ball and took off running the opposite way. I was on my perspective, I was on the left side of the field. He started running to the right. So I knew he was going to run the ball clear. He tucked it. He made his decision. So, just take your pursuit angle. So I just started running to the ball, and I don't know, I guess I saw the ball pop out. I had no clue who knocked it out. So I just saw the ball on the ground, and I saw another spider beside me, which was Colin McConaughey, and I knew one of us was going to get it because I looked, and there was an offensive lineman right there. I was like, well, he's not going to beat me to the ball. And then he just, me and Colin, we both run and jumped at the same time, and Colin said he kind of swatted the ball into me a little bit, and I just jumped on it, held it tight as I could, and Colin and Parker Miles said they were breaking fingers, trying to get people off of me and stuff. So,
and it was James Madison. I mean, with all due respect to anybody else in the league or out of the league, was there even a little more significance that you came up with that ball in that particular game against that particular rival?
I mean, I guess it means like as far as a rival, but it's another game we were about to lose. So just to come out of there with a win, no matter who the opponent was, it was a great feeling just to be able to win the game and get the offense back on the field to just close it out.
This is important. This is our next game, our next opponent that we have to be prepared for. And this is a group that's going to play very, very physical, and they play with a lot of emotion. You can see it on film.
Hey, Matt, speaking of that film, Maine has some weird stats in terms of turnovers. They turn it over a ton, and the people they play turn it over even more. Has the weather been bad in these games? Do they do high-risk things? Is their defense built to create turnovers? Can you
I think defensively they do a very good job of creating turnovers, whether it's defensive linemen do a good job of getting their hands up in the throwing lanes and batting some balls and getting them to deflect different ways. I think weather's always an issue. They've played a wet game. I think when they played it at Hofstra, it was pretty wet. And that's always going to be an issue when you play up north.
A word or two, Eric, if you would, about the quarterback. Sort of an odd story coming from Iona in the springtime, and he's a new cat to this league.
Yeah, well, the quarterback that played last year, I guess he moved to receiver, and now they got the sophomore quarterback. And on film, he moves. He's real athletic, and he can run the ball well, and has a few moves, seen him break a few tackles, and he can throw the ball pretty well, and he's just, I guess, young quarterback in the league, up and coming. I think he's going to have a, good future. And as far as preparing for him, we got personnel or quarterbacks on our team who kind of, match his type of play. So when we go against our scout team, we got John Lobb or like Nick Hicks back there. We'll be able to, get a good look and like a good feel of how he plays the game. And so when it comes to the game time, I think our defense will be well adjusted. And, we've played against plenty of running quarterbacks, so we already got kind of like a defensive scheme built up for that. But he's a great quarterback and a young guy, and he's going to be a great competitor to go against.
Thank you.